Housed in a magnificent stone and glass building, the night swimming pool is a unique haven. It's known internationally for its restorative atmosphere. And although it's somewhat exclusive, we're lucky enough to enjoy unlimited access tonight and all nights. It's perfect for night swimmers and stargazers, and anyone looking for somewhere truly dreamy to drift off and float away. Before we begin to enjoy this unique location, it's nice to start with a wind-down exercise. For tonight's wind-down, you're going to use your imagination. So no matter what's been going on today, whether it's been a busy day or a calm one, this is an opportunity to put everything down. To let go of any inner chatter and find a place of rest in both the body and the mind. So first, get yourself comfortable in bed, taking a moment to pause and be still. And when you're ready, taking a big, deep breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you breathe out, allowing the body to sink down into your bed, feeling the weight of the body, allowing thoughts to come and go. Now imagining a steady flow of warm sunlight. Flowing down through the body, dissolving any tension, any discomfort, as it begins to fill the body, starting with the toes. Moving up through the feet and the legs, being filled with sunlight. The qualities of warmth, space, and ease as it continues to travel up through the body, up past the waist, to the back and the stomach, as though it washes away any discomfort. It continues up through the chest and the back, into the shoulders, and down the arms, all the way down to the hands and fingers. A sense of relief in the body, and stillness in the mind as it continues to travel up through the neck and the throat, into the head and face, all the way to the very top of the body. Until there's nothing other than that sense of stillness remaining. And now, just gently bringing the attention back to the body. There are never more than a handful of visitors to the night swimming pool at any one time, or at least it always feels as though there aren't many people here. There's something about this place. People just start to seem at one with it, perhaps lulled by this sense of harmony. The swimmers in the pool have fallen into a kind of rhythm with one another, so that their swimming back and forth merges into a reassuring pattern of repetitions. And to a sleepy eye, their bobbing heads and arms arcing through the air are just a set of abstract shapes refracting off the water. You settle back, letting your gaze soften still more, so that these shapes dissolve and resolve like the ebb and flow of the water. Meanwhile, the moon looks on through the window, her face resting on the pillow of the night. Now, a few people have taken to the water. In the dreamy blue light, you glimpse a pair of arms winging their way from one end of the pool to the other. The swimmer is barely evident beneath the surface. His freestyle is so smooth and elegant that apart from his arms, only his head, with short hair slicked back like an otter's, is visible above the water as he turns to one side to take a breath. The water ripples and sluices about him as he moves forward, and the path he has cut is picked out by the play of light. Entering the night swimming pool from the changing area, you find yourself in a long room emanating a quiet blue light. The central feature, of course, is the large rectangular pool, which stretches right to the end of the room, where it meets a wall of glass framing a starry night sky. The water itself, there's no one in it just now, is absolutely still, meeting its edge almost seamlessly. You step closer and crouch down at the pool's edge. Slowly, not wanting to disturb the absolute calm of the water's surface, you dip one hand in, testing the temperature. A delicious coolness encircles your wrist, and the water ripples like a length of turquoise silk flung across the floor. Next, you make your way over to a set of sun loungers, although here they call them moon loungers. You won't be catching any rays at the night swimming pool, and settle down into one. Its curved form is exactly matched to the contours of your back, so you can recline here in perfect ease as the night swimmers come and go. The atmosphere in the night swimming pool is quiet, reflective. There's a steadfastness to the space that makes you feel very secure, almost cradled, though you couldn't put your finger on how exactly. Perhaps it's something to do with the relationship of sound to the materials of the building. Water and stone just go together so beautifully. The walls seem to absorb any harsh noise, so that the only sounds here are low and sonorous. It's almost as though they are felt rather than heard. The soft footsteps of people coming and going from the pool, sinking their damp footprints into the slate floor. Occasional murmurs, faintly echoing as one person greets another, and the gentle swish and splash of the water, reorganizing itself again and again around the swimmers as they dive, surface, surge forward, or float lazily on their backs. Not far from you, close to the loungers, is a water fountain made of aged brass set into the wall. The water in the fountain comes straight from a nearby mountain spring, so it's no surprise the sound of the night swimming pool makes you think of the trickling of mountain streams. From your position on the Moon Lounger, you can admire the architecture of the night swimming pool, which is beautiful without being showy. Designed first and foremost to instill a sense of complete equilibrium in its visitors. The floors surrounding the pool are lined with a lightly textured slate in varying shades of gray, green, and rust. And the walls are a soft gray stone. Every detail in the night swimming pool, from the deep door frames leading to the changing rooms and the doors themselves, which are comfortingly heavy, yet weighted in such a way as to glide open without effort, to the place where the lip of the pool merges with the floor. Every detail is so precise and yet unobtrusive that the place seems to melt together somehow, as if it came together organically out of things in the natural world, which, in a way, it did. You recall that as you passed from the changing area to the pool side, the transition felt completely instinctive. You didn't have to look around to find your way. The design of the building just led you, naturally, from one space to another. In the same way, the steps down into the pool appear exactly where your feet would want them to, and the loungers are just the right distance from the water. Everything just flows. If you want to feel at one with your elemental self without actually being exposed to the elements, this is the place to be. There's a distinct, most soothing scent to the night swimming pool, If you were to encounter it anywhere else, you'd recognize it instantly. It's an earthy, fresh, botanical smell, like walking into a forest after a storm. It must be some mysterious combination of minerals and essential oils, but unless you're a scent expert, you'd be hard-pressed to pick out all the individual notes. That woody, floral smell, that might be lavender. And this rich, herby smell, with an undertone of mint, could be chamomile. Two essential oils known for their relaxing properties. It's no wonder you feel so relaxed. Of course, one of the best ways to experience the night swimming pool is to take a little dip yourself. You might like to get up and walk over to the edge of the pool, where a set of stone steps cut into the side descend into the water. If you step down into the pool, you'll find the temperature is just right. You could turn on your back and paddle a little way out to find a spot where you can hold out your limbs and float weightlessly in space, tipping your head back to gaze up at the long windows cut into the ceiling. There you'll just about be able to make out your reflection, a small star sparkling on the pool's surface, among the multitude of stars looking back at you. You can float here like this for as long as you wish, and whenever you're ready to get out, you can return to the comforts of the Moon Lounger for a well-deserved rest. Two women emerge from the changing area, wearing such bright swimwear, your eye can't help but be captured by the colors. One is wearing a lime green bathing cap and a fluorescent pink suit, while the other has on a pink cap and a lime green swimsuit. As they stroll towards the pool, their arms and legs swing back and forth in unison. They stop right at the edge of the pool, about a foot apart, and adopt identical stances. Well, what do you know? Their toenails have been painted to match their swimming caps. The next moment, they're bending their knees and flinging their arms up into a point, diving with beautiful synchrony into the aquamarine water. Their dives are so well executed, they seem only to add to the restful atmosphere, barely disturbing the stillness of the water, which surges up briefly as they hit the surface, then settles again. At the other end of the pool, their luminous heads bob up. They turn to each other, grinning. Each swipes an arm from the water, and they high-five. Another patron is reclining on a lounger a few feet away from you. A man wrapped in a fluffy white bathrobe, with his feet crossed at the ankles. A pair of striped pool sliders are neatly lined up at the end of his lounger, along with a pile of books and magazines, and a short distance from these, a pair of mirrored swim goggles in a small puddle of water. He's flipping through a book with an array of pedigree dogs on the front cover. Actually, most of his reading material seems to feature dogs. Another book is titled, How to Care for Your Pomeranian. With a wistful smile on his face, he gazes at a page of his book for some time. In case you're wondering, the object of his attention is a picture of a French bulldog in a beret. One end of the room is almost entirely taken up with a huge picture window, looking out onto the night sky. At the end of the pool, swimmers can perch on a ledge just under the water and gaze out at the stars. There are 3 people sitting there. One has her back to the window, resting before taking another swim. But the other 2 are looking out. It's a clear night, and the moon is just shy of full. Its curve blunted at one edge, like someone resting their face on a pillow. The sky is a deep navy, through which the plentiful stars seem to be emerging. It's as if the sky is a kind of glaze which, in the manner of things of great age and value, has become worn over time, and the stars are whatever was hidden, a glittering secret now making itself known.